first place. And it comes right down through that Carter Slough, runs right down my property line and comes over. And I have kids out there every day, and so it comes through. So if you open up the ditches on Sleepy Hollow to one, this is the high part of Sleepy Hollow. If you stand on the corner of Sleepy Hollow and you look straight down, it goes straight downhill. And if you're gonna do that, and you're gonna open up Sleepy Hollow, that water's gonna run all through those places. It's gonna hit the Russells, it's gonna hit Miss Pearson right here, it's gonna hit me, it's going to hit Pat that's over on the other side, because there's nothing there. So all it's gonna, you're gonna dig a deep hole and it's not gonna have anywhere to go, but it's gonna sit.
Well, actually, what we're talking about it is really way past you. It's right down past Dalby Lake, from there to the river.
But it's already low in floods there. It's still low in floods there. And when you're doing that and you're going in and you're talking about the easement and running through, can you run sidewalks through while you're running and building? Instead of sidewalk on top of it while you're doing it?
You need to do a sidewalk while you're under
When you're running through to open up, if you're gonna open up the ditches, you might as well reel the easement, because as it is, if you're walking down there, because I walked from the park to my house and it was dangerous for me, and I'm an adult. And if you're gonna dig a ditch down that way and you're not gonna have a sidewalk, well, the kids are gonna fall in while they're getting ready to catch the bus. Because kids will be kids, and it's water and it's cold.
As a rule, the county doesn't put in any sidewalks. Any sidewalks you might see in the county are put in by the developer. I can't say that drainage improvement, something like that, we did have a deep ditch that we probably might put some time on.
Yeah, because it's gonna be deep, going down there if you're gonna open it up like that. And you're gonna have some flooding. Carter Slough is gonna flood behind me and Andrew, and all the way through on the other side, and Kimberwood.
Where does Carter Slough run?
Carter Slough runs, it starts down by my house. My house has a slough going right down on the west side of my house. It's a slough, it runs all the way.
I need on the map, because you said that the Portofino's,
Water's going into White Oak, doesn't go into Carter Slough. Carter Slough was up there by Harper's Preserve. They got that big ditch to catch in, or half of it anyway, and take it west, and then it goes up to Ponderosa Timbers, and it goes down and ties into one of those old sand pits to go to the river.
because you're saying Carter Slough's right
There's
here.
a slough right by my house. It's been there ever since, I'm like the fifth generation. There's a slough runs all the way through. Because that kind of floods, that floods the cemetery, and that what floods the cemetery?
Wow.
That's right here. That's part of that White Oak
That's
West.
all part of it. I mean,
This is that White Oak.
Is that it right there?
That's right past your house. This is the cemetery area, right?
yeah, because you can't even get in the cemetery anymore.
Right, and that's part of one of the.
And you're gonna desecrate some graves if you do that.
My suggestion might be, why don't you go to the homeowners associations and see if they would allocate part of their budget to funding this, because the county can probably borrow the money for 10 years at 3%. And it just in White Oak, I don't know how many houses we got to be 500.
Right.
If everybody put in $10 a
So
month.
why it's still functioning,
Yeah.
So, they did, okay. I think Sheffield was.
I'm just saying, look at this, if you can guarantee that the money was going to be directed on the issues that directly affect us, they might be, I'm not volunteering everybody on the subdivision, I'm just saying it's an alternative. If you can't get some kind of funding, it's like, look, people.
Well, it's we may need to get funding and do that.
Well, because you don't have a drainage district, right, but if they can assess us, so if they said, look, I'm gonna contribute $50,000 a year to my homeowners for the next 10 years, you might could get some of that done.
I agree.
But there's not that many that, Chatter Woods does not have homeowners, it's gone. So it would be White Oak, that's it on that side. We have a mud. The little, like Chatter Woods.
It's just the mud, it's not the home.
Yeah, the little Chatter Woods, within our subdivision, the main subdivision has a POA.
Mud enforcement should be restrictions.
No, they don't enforce anything.
They don't enforce anything. sorry.
That's all right. And they're not here, and they won't be here tomorrow either, so.
Well, I just think that may be a new model for getting stuff done, that people that are directly affected, as long as, because we all pay a lot of taxes for a lot of stuff that benefits everybody but us, right? But if you could go, look, if you assess the homeowner, I guarantee you that money will be used to do these projects that directly impact your property values. You might get people that actually volunteer to do that stuff.
And the problem is, you have to carry it to a vote. I don't know, you have to have 100% participation, but it's gonna be, to be a high number. There's always 10% of people who don't.
Why? They already assessed it, all I'm saying is.
Oh, you mean
the
vote
assessment
to
goes up.
spend some of the money they're already assessing you?
Oh, yeah, but that's the board,
Right.
right? So,
So is there no rules or regulations in the state of Texas that you have to, I want to build a subdivision of 250 houses, and I do not have to take into account how it's going to affect all the people that have lived around you?
No, you absolutely do. You absolutely, you can't build a subdivision without doing that.
You have to retain the water,
Yeah.
But they don't.
and that's what I'm saying, what
well,
entity?
the engineers tell you that they do.
What?
And they make the numbers say that they're gonna retain the water that they're supposed to. And when our engineers take the numbers, their numbers do what they're supposed to do. And
And the reality doesn't matter.
No.
And the true way to fund I don't like flood control, like I said, nobody can control the flooding. But drainage improvement is through commercial dollars. Like I said, if you've got a guy that's putting in a metal building, a yard, some stuff out here, he's gonna put a $250,000 detention pond in. I would rather take the $250,000 and put it into a fund. But here's the problem, if he floods his neighbors, we know, so it's almost a catch-22. Until we can get, $2 million built up, and then we can fix the drainage down that road.
You can do more good with it all aggregated than single site control.
You can have enough to do.
you can have regional look at things and not have everybody doing their own thing.
Right.
And that's a good point you were saying, because right now, one neighborhood to the next, a guy decides he wants to build 250 houses. That's not an aggregate. That's hodgepodge. That's what we have. We have this here, and they're safe as far as liability, because at least the numbers that has been accepted by whoever, the county or whatever, works.
And I can't say that we're not gonna get some immediate relief, because there's some things that we can do that the county can do themselves. I mean, take the water that was on 242, I didn't do it, but it was at my urging with Tech Stop, that water we're talking about goes back in the Carter Slough. I mean, I was out there in my road with Bill and the property owner that went through there, and that water that stood on the feeder at 242 doesn't stand there now. And when it comes to the big rain, you don't see it. You go stop and think about it. But used to, anytime we had a rain, you had 6 inches to a foot of water on the feeder road at right at 242 and 45. Just with the track hole and some ditch digging equipment, Tech Stop came out there, got the easement they needed, did what they needed to do, cleaned it up, and now that, it's not perfect, it's not this type of system, but if you could just get some type of relief, that's all I can promise here right now with the amount of funding we've got, is to do what I can do with, county funding. I can't, like I said, I can't make the water go somewhere that it's the natural flow, not the natural flow. And some of these designs, the other issue is some of these designs, actually both of them, are going to require going through somebody else's property. Well, if their property is flooding down, they want the water off of them, that's great, but they may or may not allow that to come through there. So this could be altered.
Where in Tamina is the worst one? Where do you guys like?
Where's the what?
Where,
Where's-
in
where's the worst
Tamina,
place in
Tamina
town?
area, I know Chaplain's in Sleepy Hollow, but where in Tamina do you want?
It's down, Sleepy Hollow, and then it's the cemetery is completely flooded.
I would think about the cemetery, then where it crosses on Simmons.
Yeah.
And then Broadway.
In the bins.
Yeah. So where these blue areas are, that's,
Because I went down the road where the concrete plant is, and back that road, I mean, that's just swampland back there. You guys are just wetlands over there, but it just seems like that just holds water back. But I didn't see the culverts or anything down there either.
Any more questions?
Oh, you talking about back down, excuse me, back down by, what, Falvey? Back down in there, is that what they talking about?
Well, I went all the way down Main Street down to the
Yeah,
end.
the other end, past the
Yeah,
church.
I don't know all the names of the streets back there, but I was just trying to find out.
Main and Broadway runs all the way back down through there. It floods
Yeah.
down there real bad down there.
Yeah, it's real bad. And I didn't see any culverts or anything to help water move.
It's nothing down there, because where Spider used to live, it flooded so bad, his house stayed wet all the time.
Well, that's where they haul all that dirt back there, I think they dumping all that dirt, all that tons of dirt back there, just about every day. They building it up and high.
Oh, yeah.
You see that bare spot right beside the creek there?
Yeah, that's all that fresh dirt.
That's all that fresh dirt that's right there. I'm sorry.
Where did they put that in there?
That's all the concrete there.
They don't have nowhere else to dump it, so they bring it to Tampa, dump it in Tampa, like they did down Johnson Road. They had dumped, some bio stuff down Johnson Road at one time.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Remember that bio stuff they dumped and they found it all down Johnson Road? That was before the stadium. That was before they put the stadium on. But that just calls for policing to stop them and ask them where they come from, you know, where you going.
Any other questions?
They're down at the bottom there, those little green lines that go over the railroad tracks. Down by the,
down here.
yeah. Where's that coming from?
This doesn't cross the road, that's Cactus.
Oh, that's, okay. That's Chevrolet.
Yeah, the diagonal line is a pipeline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
thought that's
It's not-
railroad
it's
tracks.
not-
Okay.
That's what we're going to take into consideration, we're doing a deep channel.
We have a pipeline.
Shallow.
Well, the only reason I found out who it was because they thought it was my house. Yeah.
Okay.
When they wanted to come give you that big check, when they wanted to come through and dig up some mines, they thought it was at my house because it's